Welcome everybody to Ring B. It is semi-finals day of the Halia Legionów in Kielce, Poland at the IEBA Men's and Women's World Youth Championships. Andy Clark with you in Ring B, my colleague Ronald McIntosh. Taking care of business over in Ring A, and the semi-finals in this afternoon session featured the women's competition. We've got flyweights first, then into the featherweights. Then we'll look at the light welterweights, middleweights, and heavyweights. So I'm getting to see today some fighters I've not seen yet, because fighters from the other half of the draw, who so far have been boxing in Ring A, are venturing over to Ring B. So looking forward to that. All of these fighters are guaranteed bronze medals, of course. But all very much aiming to get through these semi-finals.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome at Mężczyzn and Women's World Boxing Championship 2021. Ring A, women's light 45-48 kilograms, session 14A. Into the red corner, please welcome boxer representing Poland, Młodzieżowe.
So our first semi-final in the women's flyweight division features Fabrice Chanu.
Ladies and gentlemen, and we start the semi-finals. There will be the bout number 345. Women's 51 kilogram, please, into the red corner. From India, Fabrice Chanu Narem.
Fabrice Chanu Norem of India beat Goris Nair of Estonia by RSC in the second round in her opening contest, and Alexis Kubitsa of Poland 5-0, and boxed really, really well. 2019 Asian youth gold medalist.
From Italy, Lucia Ayari.
Lucia Ayari got past Veronica Zayakova of Czech Republic, and then Genesis Gomez of Ecuador. That fight against Gomez, very, very good fight.
Croatia, Korea, Azerbaijan, Jordan, and Kazakhstan, and the referee from Guatemala, Mr. Emerson Bassa.
Ari, a national youth champion, has won silver and bronze medals at the European Juniors as well. India having a good competition. They've already claimed 11 medals. Brought a full team of 20 athletes. They're up at the top of the table at the minute, alongside Russia. top of the women's table with Poland.
Round one.
So into the first, Ayari of Italy in the blue, Nairem of India in the red. Chanu Nairem, as mentioned, the Asian youth champion at 51 kilos in 2020. Just standing off at the moment, having a look. The Italian, meanwhile, Ayari is just jobbing that lead hand forwards and backwards, just looking to try and find that kind of nice, easy rhythm. You see plenty of fighters do this, but Chanu Nairem is interesting. She's standing kind of stock still, looking for a way and just shuffling forward, almost millimetre by millimetre there, and then launches into a right hand. And the Italian can't just let her do this. She's just going to creep forward, and then throw the jab. She needs to throw the jab there, Ayari. It's set up there, just waiting for her. Just snap that jab out. No reason not to do it. And the referee's telling them both there that they need to engage and fight, which is fair enough, because that was a very, very, very slow start to the fight. No reason not to just throw that jab. She eventually does there, Ayari, and looks for the right hand off the back of it. There's that strong right hand from Chanu Nairem. Again, that's what she looks for. She's not that bothered about technique when she throws it. She just launches herself in. You just look at that front foot there. It's just creeping forward every time. And when she gets close enough, she'll go for it. 1-2 there from Ayari. She's a solid-looking fighter at 51, the Indian. And you'd imagine she's no respecter of opponents' power, and that's why she fights the way she does. She's happy just to walk through what they're going to throw her way. Gets onto the inside there and just looking to club away at Ayari. Again, just chasing Ayari across the ring there. Bell goes at the end of the first round, and that was an interesting kind of round. Very, very slow start, as I say. And you've got Chanu Nairem there, who's just looking to creep forward almost imperceptibly. Then when she hits a certain point, she pulls the trigger and forward she goes. 10 lines across the board for her there, and that was the only way you could really score that. She was the one who landed the significant punches in that round. Ayari is set up there just to jab. She could just throw that jab and just keep throwing it. She's got to do something just to try and stop her Indian opponent just walking in on her like that, because, as I said, she's a solid fighter physically. Chanu Nairem, for a 51-kilo fighter, Asian youth champion. She's got her method and it clearly works. You've got to be able to do enough to get her respect, basically, to try and just stop her just coming in on you like that. You've got to make her respect your punch power. And if you can't do that, you've got to make sure you get off the punching line when she comes forward. Left hand there from Chanu Nairem, looking for the right hand over the top as well. Shoelace undone there, maybe, is there? No, the vest has just come out of the shorts. Tight guard. Chanu Naram just looking to move that head side to side, and then again just reaches with that right hand. When she comes forward, she'll do whatever she needs to do to close the gap and get there. Most fighters, most kind of textbook trained fighters, if you like, they'll keep that balance, they'll throw their punches. If they don't make it, then they'll just bring those gloves back and keep their balance. Chanu Naram has got her own method here, and when she attacks, and she's going to make sure that she reaches the target, whatever happens. The weight can come forward, it can be a bit ragged, it doesn't matter. Left hand there from the Indian got through. Right hand was short, but again, she just goes again there midway through the second round. It's difficult to cope with this kind of style, it is, because she's physical, strong, and Ayari quite simply doesn't have the snap on her punches to stop her doing it. There's that right hand again. Ayari just ends up on the floor there, and physically she's being bullied here really by Chanu Naram. He comes forward there looking for the body with the left hand, and then the right to the head, and then end up in a tangle up close again. And 10-9 again there for the Indian fighter. So she's got a clear lead going into the third and final round here, and it looks very much like she will go through to the gold medal bout. She's a formidable fighter. This is the first time I've seen her in this competition. Picks the moment that she's going to come forward. And as I've been saying, when she does do that, she completely commits to it. There's nothing half-hearted. She doesn't get halfway there and decide it's not really on and pull out. That's not what happens. And if you're on the receiving end of it, as I say, what you need is either a crisp jab, 1-2, that you can land on her as she comes in to stop her in her tracks, take her off balance, or you need to be able to take a step to the side and try and catch her on the way past. Ari hasn't really initiated too much. It's been Chanu Naram who's been the more proactive. I always just look to really try and react to what her opponent does, and that, I'm afraid, against this kind of style is not going to work if you don't have, as I said, the punch power to hit her on the way in, and hit her hard on the way in.
Break, one step back. One step back. Bokse!
Looking for the right hand again there. Chanu Naram landed it a couple of times, and again there, and the referee steps in with a standing count. You saw the head just rock back there. of Ayari, and I think she's finding this a frustrating experience because she knows exactly what Chanu Naram is going to do. There's just not really anything she can do about it. Right hand there again from the fighter in red. And again, these single shots, and that's a good example of her just reaching for that right, making sure it lands. Whatever happens, she'll do what she needs to make sure it gets to the target. Good right to the body there. And she's just knocking Ayari around the ring. Well, goes to the end of the fight. Touch of gloves between the two, and that's a comfortable victory for Pabarosana Chanu Naram of India. And she will go through to the gold medal bout. They're having a very good tournament, India, as I outlined at the start, and she will get the opportunity now to box for gold. Very good competition for Lucia Ayari of Italy as well. I didn't mean to sound too hard on her during the course of that fight, but it's just one of those situations where she's in with a fighter who's got a very kind of tough, rugged style, and there just wasn't too much that she could really do to counteract it.
Minchia ragazzi, sti cazzi,
Ci sarà il conteggio?
Sì, fatti un pochettino quello forse.
Tira.
Ladies and gentlemen, in about 345, the first semi-finals women's 51 kilograms. Win on points with the unanimous decision from the red corner, Pabarosana Chanu Naram, India.
So unanimous decision, and some 10-8s in there as well. Eight across the board in the final round there from our 5 judges. And she will go through now to face the winner of Kulan Altenbayek and Valeria Linkova. Altenbayek of Mongolia, Linkova of Russia, which is coming up next.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the bout number 346 in the ring being second semi-finals women's 51 kilogram. And please, to the red corner, from Mongolia, Kulan Altenbayek.
Altenbayek with wins against Ukraine, Daria Uterina, and then Kazakhstan in her quarterfinal, Gulna Tarapbay. Good fight against Tarapbay. It was a close fight, that. She got it by 5-0, but it was a close fight.
Valeria Linkova.
Valeria Linkova, former European junior champion. youth national and youth junior champion in Russia as well. Beat Salma Lalali of Morocco and Kai Varoya of Finland 4-1. Alton Bayek, a youth and junior national champion as well.
And the judges of this bout in ring B, Singapore, Azerbaijan, Taiwan, Korea, Latvia, and the referee from Kazakhstan, Mr. Bakizan Bakbenbetov. Round 1.
So into the first round, Linkova of Russia in the blue, Alton Bayek of Mongolia in the red. Linkova, orthodox fighter, Alton Bayek, southpaw. Both had good fights yesterday. Kai Varoya of Finland gave Linkova a good tussle, but Linkova, just a good all-round fighter. Has got those long levers where she can box on the outside if she wants to, but is just as happy up close. Alton Bayek had a close one against Gulnaz Turatbay of Kazakhstan. She won it by unanimous decision in the end, but it was a tight fight. For me, there was very little in it. Reaching for the right hand there, Linkova. Neither one of these two has quite managed to find the range yet. Alton Bayek has got to get closer. You look at the physical differences between the two, and she just was slightly hesitant there, and Linkova caught her on the end of a combination. Alton Bayek can't let that happen. She's got to find a way of getting inside that reach if she can. She's struggling with it a bit at the minute. We've only had just over a minute of the first round, though, so plenty of time. Southpaw now, Linkova. That's a good right hand, just catches Alton Bayek on the way in. Took her completely off balance. She's dominating this opening round so far, the Russian, and Alton Bayek just isn't able to find a way past that long reach. And onto the inside where she needs it to be, because you look at the height difference between the two, and she's trying to remedy that there, but that was a bit too basic, just walking forward. Linkova just boxing nice and loose, nice and easy at the minute. That's a good opening round there for the Russian. Former European junior champion back in 2018. And 10 9s across the board there. That was the only way that you could possibly score that. Youth national champion, junior national champion.
Заднюю рукой сразу не кидайся. Все через переднюю руку работай. Только на переднюю руку. Достала левой, тут же правую шею. Все. Вера, и все.
Seconds out, please. Round 2.
So into the second. Linkova with a clear round win in the opener. And what can Altenbayek do here to try and change things? Because what she has to do is get tied to get closer. And she's certainly trying there, but Linkova just takes that half step back and still catches her on the end of that 1-2. This is difficult. It's a tough job, this, for Altenbayek. Linkova looks right on point here. Quite often in Ring B this week, we've seen a fight where we've had a shorter fighter up against a taller fighter, and the taller fighter hasn't had the tools, or rather hasn't used them, to keep the shorter fighter off, to stop them getting up close, to stop them mixing it on the inside. And Linkova is showing exactly how you do that. Good combination there from Linkova. Altenbayek again is trying to move in. She's not really moving ahead. That's the problem for the Mongolian. I think maybe that fight against Trapboy yesterday took something out of her, Altenbayek, because she does look a little bit lackluster. It was a hard fight, and to take it right to the wire to get the decision. Linkova boxed yesterday as well, but it was a more straightforward win. She just looks a bit laboured, Altenbayek. There's that good 1-2 again. Just as she gets into range there, there's no way that she can reach from there. She's outside range, Altenbayek, not Linkova. She just pops her with that 1-2. This is smart boxing, really good boxing. Got through with one there, Altenbayek. Nice 1-2 there from Linkova again. She just heaved a bit of a sigh there, Altenbayek, as she took herself back to the centre of the ring after being caught yet again by Valeria Linkova of Russia. She just can't get near her at the minute. She's trying, and there's real frustration there in the red corner, I think, because just nothing is really working for her so far. She's lost that second round as well. There's no question about that. 10-9 across the board, and this is a semi-final in the World Championship, and you want to be pouring everything out. You want to be in the fight, and unfortunately for Altenbayek, she's just not really in the fight because Linkova will not let her into the fight. Landed a left hand there, but that's pretty much the only success that she's had in this contest so far.
Seconds out, please. Third round.
Looking for the right hand there. Good left hand off the ropes there. Linkova just leaning in, waiting for Altenbayek to come forward. And then just threw that left hand hard up from the waist. Now jabbing out of the southpaw stand, southpaw orthodox. You can do either. stylistically, this is going to be a really interesting matchup. In the final between Chanu and Linkova. I think we can assume that Linkova is going to get there. Because as we saw with Chanu, she comes forward. She likes to come forward, creep forward with that front foot, and really then explode. And as I was saying, all the way through that fight, what Lucia Iari of Italy needed was the ability to catch her and hit her hard as she came forward, and she just wasn't able to do it. But Linkova, I think, could. She'll definitely be able to give her plenty to think about. She's still coming forward here, Alton Bayek. You can't fault the resolve. So final few seconds just counting down here. This has been a very frustrating experience for Alton Bayek, but a kind of masterful performance really from Linkova, who right from the very start has just been in total control of this fight. She's barely had a glove laid on it. And as I was saying, just provided the perfect demonstration of how you tackle a shorter opponent who's looking to try and come forward, looking to try and get inside your reach, get up onto the close range, and then let her hands go. She was just never allowed to do it. She never got close to doing it. Very, very good performance that from Valeria Linkova.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this bout, in the ring B, win by points with unanimous decision from the blue corner, Valeria Linkova, Russia.
And that's as comprehensive a 30 points to 27 as we have seen, I think. As I've seen anyway throughout the course of this competition in ring B. And Linkova up against Chanu in the final. That will be a good fight.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we start the bout. 347 in the ring B, semi-finals, women's 57 kilogram. Please into the red corner from India, Poonam.
So into the featherweight division and the semi-finals. Poonam of India making her way to the ring. Wins against Valeria Arboleda of Colombia, Beata Varga of Hungary, and Nazika Serek of Kazakhstan. A skillful, aggressive fighter with some credentials. Asian youth gold at 54 kilos. She's seen her teammate Chanu get through to the gold medal bout. And they've had a very, very good competition in the female
And
section.
please, to the
India,
newcomer
very strong.
From Uzbekistan, Sitora Kirdibekova.
Sitora Turbekova of Uzbekistan, 2019 Youth National Champion. In the quarterfinals, beat Alina Kantamirova of Russia 4-1. Uzbekistan doing well in the medals table as well in the women's. They've got 6 medals so far, 10 overall. There's some second in both of those league tables.
And the judges of this bout in the ring being Taiwan, Israel, Singapore, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Jordan, and the referee from Bulgaria, Miss Maria Kavaknieva. Round 1.
So into the opening round, Poonam of India, Turbekova of Uzbekistan. We've got 2 orthodox fighters here. This is the featherweight division, the first semi-final. These 2, of course, both guaranteed bronze medals. But like everybody else, they want to go one better, get through to that gold medal bout. Good defense there from Poonam. Looking for that right hand there, Poonam. Just got slightly too close. She backed to the back of her up to the ropes. To the back of her working hard here in the opening stages. She's been made to work hard. Poonam's that kind of a fighter. Nice 1-2 on the inside there, though, from Turbekova, who's certainly thrown more in this opening round. Poonam's just not been able to get too many punches away. Throws a 1-2 there, but was short with it because Turbekova, as I say, has kept that work rate and kept it high, finishing on the left hand there. Poonam has maybe just been a little bit too deliberate here, wanting to pick the perfect moment. Comes forward, and when she comes forward, she does really commit to it. Short with the right hand there. The second one got through. Left hand on the inside. This is a good finishing around from Poonam. Maybe heard the 10-second clapper and decided that she needed to activate somewhat. So end of the round. split scoring there, 10-9s, 2 of them in favour of Turdebekova, 3 in favour of Poonam. I'd probably be the blue corner in that one. So the Indian fighter with a slight advantage. When she did decide to step in and let her hands go, Poonam, she was effective, but she just kind of stayed on the outside a bit too long, I thought, most of the time in that opening round. Turdebekova took her opportunities. I think we might see Poonam just up the work rate a bit in round 2. I think if she does that, then she can make life difficult for her Uzbek opponent.
Round 2.
Changing on the inside there, difficult to see who got the best of it. Right hand on the inside, Poonam just having a right arm trapped a little bit there by Turdebekova. Minute into round 2, Poonam, she's very composed, nice 1-2 there. That found the target. It's this kind of juxtaposition between her standing off, standing at distance, looking composed and serene, and then the next second she comes flying in. Just a little feint with the front foot there from Poonam, goes down with the jab to the body. Turdebekova just backed up a little bit there. Then the 1-2 came in from the fighter in red. Nice 1-2 from Poonam as Turdebekova came in. She looked to try and close down the gap. She just dipped to her left-hand side there, the Indian fighter. Threw that right hand just slightly over the top. It's been a better round for Poonam. From where I'm sitting, she did take 3 of the cards out of the 5 cards in that opening round, but as I suspected she might, she's just worked a little bit harder in this second round. Turdebekova has still worked furiously hard. I think she knew right at the start of this that if she had any chance of winning, she would have to really try and get on top of Poonam, because she would have known that at times in the fight she was going to find herself under some serious fire, and decided that the best way to try and counteract that was to be as aggressive as she possibly could herself. Ten 9s across the board there for Poonam, so she's now got a serious lead, an appreciable lead going into the 3rd and final round. This has been a really good effort by Turdebekova. This is a semi-final. You expect people to give it absolutely everything, and she's certainly done that. Personally, I thought could have got maybe a bit more reward on the cards in the first round than she did. But she's been happy to mix it. She's known that she's going to take some punches back fighting this way, but this was really her best chance of getting the victory. It's a high-risk strategy that she's employed here, but it's absolutely the right one. Poonam looking to try and get on the jab. Jab to the body there, Poonam. Right hand on the inside. Turbekova looking to come forward, but gets picked off to the body a couple of times there again. So heading into the final minute. And again, Turbekova is, as I say, is given absolutely everything in this final round. The Poonam will know that she's been in the fight here, certainly, but she's just had the composure and the skill to deal with an opponent who I don't think could really have done any more than she's done here, Turbekova. The Poonam, as I said, she's got good composure. She's got some good skill. She can keep it on the outside when she needs to. She's certainly not afraid to commit when she comes forward. And as an all-round package, she looks a good fighter. Just threatening with the right hand there, Poonam, and then didn't quite throw it. Turbekova came in with the 1-2. Poonam just gave herself a little touch of room, made a full short, and then countered.
Ladies and gentlemen, win by points with unanimous decision in the ring B. From the red corner, Poonam, India.
Well, we'll round there for Turbekova with a couple of judges in that opening round, and it's good to see her get some change from the officials at ringside, because you put an enormous amount into that, but Poonam is a serious operator. First time I've seen her in this competition, and she's capable really of having it any which way, because she's tall, she's got that reach if she chooses to use it, but her natural instinct when it comes to attacking is to really commit when she comes forward. But she can't just come in and out nicely with the feet there. She just did it, and then through that right hand, maybe just dips ahead a bit too much when she comes forward sometimes and attacks slightly blind. But like some of the other fighters on the Indian team, and this is a little bit of a characteristic they share, it must be something that's drilled into them to an extent in the coaching, is that when they do come forward, their hands kind of mirror their feet. So they'll take short, quick steps in, and they'll throw short, straight punches. So what it means is that even though they are completely committed coming forward, they've got their balance. A lot of the time when you see fighters fly in, come forward, they go over the top of that front foot, the weight goes forward and they've got no control over anything at that point. So into the second semi-final in the featherweight division. And this is a real interesting
Ladies
one.
and gentlemen, we have the bout number 348 in the ring being please into the red corner. From Thailandia, Paninda Kafkankun.
Punida Korkankun of Thailand. Good wins against Dilova of Bulgaria and Paradisi of Italy. She's looked impressive. I described her as a kind of gentle fighter in her last fight because...
And please, to the blue corner from France, Céline Grossi.
Because Korkankun just tends to just move those gloves quite slowly. She picks her punches, doesn't seem to put any great power on anything. You'll see what I mean when you watch the fight, if you haven't watched the fight already. Céline Grossi has been very impressive, I think, in this competition so far. Wins against Bodnarchuk of Ukraine, Bahardi of Morocco, and Julia Jemereta of Poland in the last fight, who was in seriously good form.
In the ring being Korea, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Russia, and Jordan. And the referee from Ireland, Miss Dafi Sadi.
Grossi, a youth national champion, a junior national champion in France. Has had some experience in international competition, boxed in the European youths in 2019, but went out early. So she's maybe been a bit of a surprise package here Grossi, but won the Nation Women's Youth Cup in Serbia in 2020. She's just a very good all-round fighter. She looks like she can, from what I've seen in those three fights, do pretty much everything. Good technique to it. Gets a good kind of rhythm and pop to the 1-2 that she throws. Really good extension. And this should be a good fight. Grossi in the blue, Korkankun in the red.
Round one.
Left to the body there from Korkankun. Immediately a kind of good example of what I was saying. She just swung that kind of lazily, casually almost into the pit of Grossi's stomach. Grossi looks to come in and try and close the gap there. That's what she has to do. Right hand from Grossi. Korkankun just touching with that lead. Nice jab there from Korkankun as Grossi was trying to close in. Grossi trying to change the angle there. She knows she can't come in straight lines. She's got a long, kind of spidery reach, Korkankun. Lead right hand just catches Grossi in the chest as she came forward there. Left hand came back there from Korkankun, but Grossi's right glove was up to protect her. This is really interesting midway through the first round. Grossi, who's looked terrific in the competition so far, has got a puzzle to solve here, and it's proving difficult. She's struggling to find a way in here against Korkankun. Korkankun, with that kind of languid movement, just keeps the feet shifting a little bit. Nothing too dramatic, just pops out that lead hand, throws a left hand to the body. Left hand against the body there from Korkankun. Reaching for the left hand there, Korkankun didn't manage to land it. Left to the body. Trying to reach for the right, Grossi, right over the top. I don't think it quite got to the target. And she's just dictating in this opening round, Korkankun, taking the same through the ring most of the time, just these slight little movements. putting Grossi under a bit of pressure here because she's never too far away from her and she's just about in range, whereas the French fighter is struggling to get into range herself, really struggling. Left to the body, Grossi with a counter right hand, and then again there. It may be that she needs to draw the lead from Korkankun rather than looking to be aggressive herself. This is a good battle, really good battle. Looking for a couple of feints there. Grossi bell goes at the end of the round. Korkankun, I think, feels that she's had a good opening round there. She's extremely, extremely calm. Her face just gives away nothing, absolutely nothing. Very difficult to read. I'm a little bit surprised by those scores, if I'm honest. 10-9s, 4 in favour of Grossi there. I thought Korkankun had the better of that opening round. Grossi found it hard to close the gap, to get onto the inside, and not too much serious was landed, but there were some shots to the body there from Korkankun. I think she's
Seconds out, please.
I think she's had a rough deal in that first round.
Round 2.
So into the second, and Grossi with a lead on 4 of the 5 cards from ringside. Korkankun will know that. The coaching staff will have known that. And get the scores in the corner. Good right hand there from Grossi. Decent jab too. Just shaping with the right hand there. He fights her in blue and then moved off to her left-hand side. Good 1-2 there. Nice right hand from Grossi. Nice right hand there from Grossi. Korkankun looking a little bit more aggressive here, just trying to find that left hand down the middle. It's the final minute of round 2. Jab there from Korkankun. Looking for the straight right hand there, Grossi. Final 30 seconds of this second round. Grossi with a lead on 4 of the judges' scorecards at the end of round 1. So let's see which way the cards have gone in that second round. And 4 10-9s for Grossi there again. So she's got a 3-point lead on 3 cards. A 2-point lead, I beg your pardon, on 3 cards, and level on the other 2. So she's very much in the driving seat here. It's very difficult to see Korkankun winning this final round. 10-8. And I have no arguments with the scoring there. I thought that was a pretty clear Grossi round. Nice jab. Just got a little bit tighter, a little bit closer, and threw a bit more, basically. And Cancun found it difficult to find that left to the body, to take those feet back, to cope with Grossi in that second round. So into the third. Looks like left to the body again. That's a kind of favourite shot there for Cancun. Described that kind of languid style at the start of the fight, and it is definitely a plus. Her temperament, I think, is 100% a plus. She's, as I said, not the kind of fighter who gets flustered, who gets panicked. She sticks to her method. But in terms of how she goes about it physically, I think at this kind of level she will need to be a bit more aggressive. A right hand there from Grossi was perfectly timed, and you just saw the legs go a little bit there for Cancun, and Sadie Duffy did the right thing. She just jumps in with a standing count to protect the fighter. That's the point of those standing counts, because she was slightly open there. Grossi with a sharp right hand. And as I said at the beginning of the fight, Grossi's shown us a lot this week. This will be her fourth fight, but there'll be a day off tomorrow and then back for the finals on Thursday. I've enjoyed watching it. Left hand there from Grossi. Again, it's the right hand that she's been looking for. So the 3 rounds completed in this semi-final in the women's featherweight division, and it will be Sterling Grossi who goes through to the final. It's an interesting fight to watch. In Cancun, you've got a tall fighter with really, really long levers. Long reach. Grossi was always going to have to find a way inside that. I thought in the first round, she struggled with that a bit. I thought Cancun had a decent first round, but rounds 2 and 3, she found the answers there, Sterling Grossi. I don't think there's any doubt about that, particularly landing with that right hand and managing to keep that guard up. The left to the body was Cancun's signature punch.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ring B, win on points with unanimous decision. From the blue corner, Sterling Grossi, France.
Sterling Grossi goes through. She's having an absolutely fantastic tournament. As I say, she did have some international experience coming here in big competitions, boxing in the European Youths in 2019. I'd never seen her before, and from the first fight against Katarina Bednarchuk, you looked at her and you thought there's possibilities here. This kid has got some tools, and it's proved to be the case. A 10-8 there at the end from Emil Gurbanalev. Could see most likely of that standing count. So Grossi goes through to the to the final. And Poonam against Grossi, well, that is going to be a good fight to watch.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we start the semifinals, women's light welterweight. Please, in to the red corner from Russia, Azalia Amineva.
So into the light welterweight division, we've got Azalia Amineva of Russia, beat Tomasoni of Italy and Stoiko of Ukraine.
And now, please, to the blue corner from Poland, Wiktoria Tereszczak.
Tereszczak of Poland with a couple of wins against Baklavikova of Czech Republic and Guta of Romania, national youth champion in 2020. Amineva, European youth champion in 2020.
And the judges scoring in the ring being Singapore, Latvia, Taiwan, Kazakhstan, and Israel, and the referee from Azerbaijan, Mr. Emil Gurbanaliyev.
So the final preparations being made for these two. So Amineva of Russia in the red, Tereszczak of Poland in the blue. Poland having a good competition. They've claimed 8 medals so far, but have been particularly effective in the women's competition. Equal top with India, 7 medals. And Tereszczak looking to convert this guaranteed bronze into something better. Just waiting for an official to get seated at ringside, I think.
Round 1.
So into the first round, Azalia Amineva of Russia, boxing out of the southpaw stand. She's in the red. Tereszczak of Poland in the blue. She's got a tight defense, Tereszczak. She gives very little away. Look at that guard. She tucks up very effectively. Amineva just stepping in, but just hitting gloves there, not really managing to get anything through. And you've got to resist the temptation, I think, if you're the opponent against Tereszczak, just to beat up her gloves, because you can waste energy unnecessarily there. She takes a lot of care with the way that she sets up that guard, and you can see everything there, absolutely everything that got thrown there is just bouncing off the forearms, bouncing off the gloves. And it's easy to get carried away if you're the opponent. You see someone doing this and they don't really look like they're going to throw too much back. But there's a left hand down the centre there from Amineva. That did get through. You can all just go to your head a bit and you can start throwing amazing flashy combinations, but they're not actually scoring punches. Tereszczak, again, just coming forward, just shuffling in. When she gets into range there, she looks to try and throw a left hand over the top. Didn't get through with it. It's a very deliberate, very kind of measured approach that she's got here, Tereshak. She hasn't thrown an awful lot so far, though. Ameneva finds her left to the body there. Ameneva is a skillful fighter, as evidenced by the fact that she's European youth champion. She will be able to find gaps, and Tereshak has got to do more than just cover up. It limits the amount of opportunities that your opponent gets, of course, but it also limits your own opportunities to throw. She just looked to try and open up there, Tereshak, as Ameneva moved in, and that allowed Ameneva to score with that left hand. So the bell goes at the end of the first round, and Ameneva was busy in that round. As I said at the start, she hit a lot of gloves early on, but did manage to find her way through at times through that tight defence of Tereshak, and there we go, 10-9s across the board, apart from the 10-8 in the middle there. That would have had the look of a very dominant round because of the amount that she threw Ameneva. But as I say, in terms of what got through, I think a 10-8 is a little bit of a stretch there for me. But Tereshak's problem is that tucking up really tight like that is fine in a sense, but she didn't really manage to get much punching done of her own at all, just kind of shuffling in, getting into range, but when she did get into range, struggled to be all that effective.
Round 2.
Zadawaj siebie, szybka jesteś, dynamiczna. Od dołu, prawo od dołu. Prawego zacznij! Prawo od dołu, chodź! Patrz, krótkie ciosy! Już prawy dół, nie odskakuj!
Tereshak again, coming forward behind that tight guard. He's looking to throw a bit more at the start of the second round. She'll know that she's dropped that first round, and that she's got to try and do something about this. Good short left hand there from Ameneva. I mentioned the medals return that Poland have enjoyed. Russia are having a typically good competition too. They're equal top of the overall table with 11 medals secured. Most of those in the men's. Left hand to the body there from Ameneva, and Tereshak just doesn't really have too many answers here. She's up against a very good opponent, a European youth champion who has got a good rhythm to her boxing, has got good reach. Has just been the superior fighter in every way, really. Good left hand there from Ameneva. The jab just bounced off the gloves, and then she snaked the backhand through. Another left hand from Ameneva. And just finding a good array of punches here. The Russian fighter turning on a bit of a display now. And finishes on the left hand, Ameneva. Left hand gets through again there as Tereshak looked to try and come out of that guard and see if she could land something. Left to the body, right to the head. And you just see the look of frustration on Tereshak's face there As she leans over the shoulder of Ameneva right above me, just kind of grimacing, gritting her teeth. She's finding this really difficult. Bell goes at the end of the second round, and that was another very, very clear round in favour of Azalea Ameneva. Couple of 10-8s in there. And that I have no argument with. And so very, very clear water between Ameneva and Tereshak heading into this third and final round. It'd be disappointing this for Tereshak. You get to a semi-final and you're dreaming big at that point. You want to try and make it through to that gold medal bout, particularly when you're boxing on home turf. And she's just never really got into the fight, unfortunately.
Seconds out, please. Third round.
So third and final round. Ameneva in the red of Russia, Tereshak of Poland in the blue. Left to the stomach there from Ameneva. Tereshak just starting the round in determined mood there. Looked like she was absolutely hell-bent on pushing Ameneva back to the ropes and then letting her hands go. But as she was doing that, Ameneva just threw her own punches. She just can't get a grip on the Russian. Good left hand there, though, from Tereshak. She's just got the edge in all areas. And this happens, you box in the World Championship, you step up to the highest standard that there is, and some days you prepare as best you can, you go out there, you do your thing, and you're just in there with somebody who is better, and there isn't really all that much you can do about it. That's just how it goes. No shame in it.
Wiktoria, musisz być bardziej zdecydowana, pewniejsza, że ten cios dojdzie. Pół rundy Wiktoria zostało. 4 minuty. Uderz mocny prawy. Ale prawą ręką zacznij. Wiktoria, musisz być bliżej, ty masz kratę, nie w powietrze. Odejdź na te ciosy.
Decent combination, but the gloves were up in place that time.
Czemu nie bijesz na to?
Good right hand, just snakes through. The left hand got through, and then again, left hand straight down the middle, moves in onto the shoulder off the back of it. The Russian corners away to my right-hand side. I think they've enjoyed this. She's a good fighter to watch, as I said. She's very relaxed, very loose in the style. And at this kind of pace, just dictating terms as she has, I think she could box like this for 10 or 20 rounds, to be honest with you. Nice combination on the inside again there from Ameneva.
Wiktoria, ty nas nie słuchasz w ogóle. 10 sekund. Jebnij prawo.
Again, just quickly closing the gap there. Unorthodox that from Ameneva, really, but I think she knows that she can pretty much do as she pleases here, and she just strolls in very contented fashion back to the corner at the end of the fight, and that is a comprehensive win. And we may well see more. Scores of 10-8 for that third and final round. So there's going to be wide margins here, and she will go through to the final, Azalea Ameneva. That's the first time I've seen her, and it's difficult not to be impressed.
Ladies and gentlemen, at about 349. Semifinals women's light welterweight win on points with unanimous decision from the red corner, Azaria Amineva, Russia.
So through she goes, and you can see there were plenty of 10-8s there with Singapore, Taipei, and I think Israel on the right-hand side too. I feel a bit for Tereshchak there because a bit like Alton Bayek earlier on, this is a semi-final. You want to be in the fight, you want to be giving it your all, you want to be feeling like you can make it through to the next stage, and that was just never, it was just never the case. It was never on the cards for it. And they said in the first round that the danger can be sometimes when you've got somebody who tucks up well, is you can get carried away with beating up the other fighters' gloves. But you look at the kind of style that Amineva's got. She's so loose and relaxed and accurate that I think she could have boxed at that pace for the rest of the day, to be honest. So into the second semi-final now, Beatrice Rosenthaler and Joaquina Bonu Abduleva. This is going to be an interesting fight. I enjoyed watching Rosenthaler yesterday. She's a bit unorthodox at times, can be quite open, a bit basic, looks for that big right hand, but she's a handful. Abduleva, good fighter, skillful fighter. Uzbek elite champion at 64 kilos in 2020. So has got that senior experience as well. Rosenthaler, a youth national champion, has boxed in the Europeans at youth and at youth level twice, actually. Got to the quarterfinals a couple of times. Uzbekistan in second place, level with Kazakhstan in the overall medals table. They've got 10 apiece. And that medal count will stay the same over the next few days. It's just a case of what colours they're going to end up being. Six medals for Uzbekistan in the women's competition. Rosenthaler's the only one for Latvia. And the only medal overall. So that's a good achievement from her. Just a slight delay here for ring B. Action continuing apace in ring A. All the semi-finals we're seeing in both of these two rings in this afternoon session are in the women's competition. The men will come this evening. And I'm sure you're watching this via the AIBA Boxing YouTube channel. If you are, if you could click subscribe, that would be much appreciated. From a personal point of view, I've absolutely loved covering this tournament so far. It's great to see the next generation of fighters come through, see what they've got. Some stars of the future in operation here this week and last week. No question about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we start the semifinals women's light welterweight in the ring B. That will be about 350. And please, to the red corner, from Latvia, Beatrice Rosenthaler.
So here comes Rosenthaler. She's beaten Nisha Gurja of India and Jenin Hecke of Germany so far. And as I say, she's good to watch. She enjoys performing on this kind of stage. Got a hint of that as she came in there And she's an all-action kind of a fighter. She does make some technical mistakes.
And please, to the blue corner, from Uzbekistan, Mokkinabonu Abdullayeva.
And here comes Abdullayeva. We saw her against Laurie Rayet of France and then Alida Kacharian of Armenia in the quarterfinals. It was a good fight, that, against Kacharian. Kacharian dug in. But Abdullayeva is a strong fighter, as evidenced by the fact that she's won the national elites in Uzbekistan in 2020. But Rosenthal is not going to be intimidated. She's not going to be concerned about that.
Sorry, of this bout. 1 Jordan, 2 Latvia, 3 Russia, 4 Singapore, and 5 Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Those are our judges: Jordan, Israel, Russia, Singapore, Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Judges and the second position from Israel. Round 1.
So into the first, Rosenthaler of Latvia in the red, Abdullayeva of Uzbekistan in the blue. Abdullayeva just looking to try and lead off with a hook there, short with it. Rosenthaler's got the edge in height here. She's a big light welter. Jumps to the jab there, Rosenthaler. Half blocked by Abdullayeva. She's trying to fake with that front foot there, Rosenthaler, and tee up that right hand if she can. She just pulled it back that time. It wasn't quite there. You'll just see a dip to the left-hand side and then try and throw that right hand kind of over the top. She carries those gloves quite low. Abdullayeva with a smile there. She's not allowing herself to be triggered by anything. Good short single right hand there by the Uzbek. Rosenthaler, plenty of movement. Abdullayeva just closed in nice and quick there. Got through with the left hand. Left hand on the break there. Not sure if that landed all that clean. Decent jab there from Abdullayeva. She's beginning to have a bit of success halfway through the opening round. Rosenthaler with the lead left hand to the chest there and a little bit of play acting, but got caught by the left hand. She hasn't really landed anything significant in this opening round so far. We haven't seen that right hand yet. Just pulls back there and pops the jab in. Abdullayeva not being distracted by what's going on in front of her, because there's a lot of movement from Rosenthaler, some of it quite unorthodox, a lot of it intended, I think, to distract, take the attention away from the hands and what's actually going on. Nice left hand on the inside there from Rosenthaler. That's the most effective punch that she's landed so far. Good right hand there from Rosenthaler. Pulled back and then just threw it straight down the middle. Landed squarely in the face of Abdullayeva. Last 10 seconds of the round. Touch of gloves between the two. Smile from Abdullayeva. who had the better of that opening round, I would say. Rosenthaler got more into it towards the end. As I said, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot going on when she's fighting always, and split scores from the judges, 10-9s from everybody apart from Israel, who goes 10-9. Rosenthaler. I think there's more to come from the Latvian in the next couple of rounds. For her, she was, this might sound odd, but for her, she was quite subdued in that opening round, actually, in terms of what she threw.
Seconds out, please. Round 2.
So into the second round, Abdullaeva of Uzbekistan taking 4 of the cards, 4 of the 5 cards, 10-9. She's in the blue. Rosenthaler of Latvia is in the red. So she's got plenty to do here now, looking for the right hand there, but Abdullaeva got out of the way. Left hand there from Rosenthaler, who does need to try and up the gas a bit in this second round. Left hand got through there. Short left hand from Abdullaeva, though, just caught Rosenthaler on the way in. Good left hand there from Abdullaeva. And I do think the Latvian is going to try and turn the screw a bit in the second round and put some pressure on. Just reaching with the right there. Abdullaeva, though, wasn't going to be caught by that. Left hand got through a couple of times there from Rosenthaler. I think Abdullaeva walked onto another left hand there. Plenty of advice coming in from the Latvian corner. Just short with the right hand there, Abdullaeva. Kept going and landed the left. Just past the midway point of round 2. This round's up for grabs here. No one's really grabbed this one by the scruff of the neck yet. Right to the body there from Rosenthaler, who needs this one. Left hand just touches the forehead there of Abdullaeva. He falls short with the 1-2. Looking for the jab there. Rosenthaler. Good right hand to the body from Rosenthaler. Abdullaeva again falling short. She's done that quite a bit in this second round so far, then just closing in a little bit too quick. Final 30 seconds of round 2. Difficult to say who's winning this round so far, to be honest. A good finish from either one of these two will probably be enough to get it. Left hand there from Rosenthaler. Nothing that she's landed has been in any way kind of heavy, but she has landed probably more than Abdullaeva has out of the two of them. So into the final few seconds of this one, she might just have done enough here, the Latvian fighter, to get this one, or we could see some split scoring. I'm certainly not sure who I would give the nod to in that one, so I would be surprised if the ringside judges are. Well, it's 10-9s across the board there in favour of Abdullaeva. I could certainly see it going her way. Could have gone either way, I thought, from where I was sitting. Not really that much landed. And I thought Rosenthaler, although nothing she landed really had much on it, you could say the same of Abdullaeva there. So I think maybe she's a bit unlucky, Rosenthaler, not to get something from that round. I'm not going to argue too much with the scoring. What that means is that Abdullaeva has got
Seconds out, please.
a significant lead going into the final round, and Rosenthaler needs something huge here in the third and final round. And as I said, In terms of what she's thrown and what she's attempted in this fight, Rosenthaler has been relatively subdued compared to when I've seen her before. She's bombed in with big right hands. She's been more circumspect against Abdullaeva, maybe feeling that if she attempted something like that, she could get picked apart. But I think she needs to be quite gung-ho in this final round now. They'll know that she's behind and needs to turn around a number of cards with a 10-8 or better, which is a huge ask against the fighter of Abdullaeva's ability. What you don't want at the business end of any tournament, particularly not in a semi-final, you don't want it in a final either, but particularly not in a semi-final, is to come out of that ring feeling like you maybe could have done a bit more. Good left hand there from Abdullaeva. These fighters were in action yesterday, and that is something that you can maybe take into account. Rosenthaler put in a high-octane kind of performance yesterday. Abdullaeva's more of an economical kind of operator, so possibly she's able to cope with the two fights in 2 days a bit better. And they boxed in the evening as well, the women's light welterweights yesterday. This is the afternoon session, so it's not even 24 hours ago. It's not even nearly 24 hours ago. Looking for that right hand. Haven't seen that too often, which has come as a surprise. Abdullaeva just on the back foot there. Always nicely balanced. And as Rosenthaler comes in, she's able to tie her up. And she's cruising through here, Abdullaeva. And I wouldn't be surprised if she comes away from this fight thinking that she's had a little bit of a touch here, that she was expecting this maybe to be more physical than it's been, a bit more demanding than it's been. Looking to the right there, Rosenthaler, but that's one of the first times she's really let it go. Again, just looking for that big right hand, but that time it was a good distance away. So there goes the bell at the end of the 3 rounds, and Abdullaeva is going to go through here, and she's going to go through by a fairly comfortable margin. And see some highlights from the fight. Left hand coming in there from Abdullaeva. Right hand on the inside there from Rosenthaler. Some better work with that in the third and final round, but as I said, I just wonder whether boxing yesterday and putting in an energetic performance yesterday, she just seemed flat today. She just seemed flat. Abdullaeva was the favourite for this contest, but Rosenthaler just seemed to have just left something in yesterday's performance. I think that is a fair comment. Abdullaeva all smiles. She will go through to the final. She'll be able to box for a gold medal. Rosenthaler should be very pleased with her week, though.
In the second semi-finals, in the women's light welterweight category, win on points with split decision. From the blue corner, Mokaminabu Abdullaeva, Uzbekistan.
Abdullaeva gets it. And it's 30 points to 27 for everybody other than our Israeli judge. So she goes through, and she will be up against Ameneva of Russia, Azalia Ameneva. Now, there are two fighters with pretty differing styles, Ameneva and Abdullaeva. So we've got the middleweights and the heavyweights to come in the women's competition. Six of our 10 semi-finals in this session have been settled already in Ring B. Next up at middleweight, we've got Sakiba Rusmetova and Dina Daide of Kazakhstan, who had originally lost against Boglarka Varga of Hungary yesterday. That must have been appealed and overturned because she takes her place in the semi-final, as you see there at the bottom of the screen. Uzbekistan against Kazakhstan, and that is always something to look forward to. Seen a few of these over the course of the week.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we start the semi-finals women's middleweight division in the ring B. That will be the bout number 351. Please, into the red corner, from Uzbekistan, Sakiba Rusmetova.
Rusmetova wins against Luisa Vasquez and Raisa Piskun of Ukraine, who she stopped in the first round in her quarterfinal. She's a strong puncher, that's for sure. Came second in the Uzbekistan Women's Seniors in 2020.
And please, to the blue corner, from Kazakhstan, Dana Didai.
So Daide didn't get the decision originally against Varga yesterday, but that has been overturned. Asian Junior Gold in 2019, National Youth Champion. Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan.
Scoring in the bout number 351 in the ring B. 1 Croatia, 2 Taiwan, 3 Jordan, 4 Korea, and 5 Russia. And the referee from Bosnia and Herzegovina, Stina Polet.
Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan locked together at 10 medals each in the competition so far. In the women's side of it, the advantage is a slender one by 1 medal, 6 medals to 5 for Uzbekistan over Kazakhstan, and it's a tremendous rivalry. I saw Rumesova's first fight against Luisa Vasquez of Colombia. She won that one by 4 cards to 1. And she's a strong puncher, no doubt about that. As I said, she stopped Reza Piskun of Ukraine in the first yesterday. She's quite kind of robotic, quite mechanical. And Vasquez did every now and again upset her rhythm. So here we go, Rusmetova of Uzbekistan in the red, Daide of Kazakhstan in the blue. There's that 1-2 from Rusmetova. That's what she'll look for. She's pretty tall for a middleweight. And just immediately looks for that 1-2. Left hand on the inside there, though, from Daide. That was a good shot. She's got to get inside that jab right hand and find a way to land her own punches. Big step into the left-hand side there and looks for a right hand, Daide. Rusmetova coming forward. Right to the body there from Daide. It's quite risky, this policy here from her, though. She's not really working her way onto the inside. She's springing in and closing the gap that way, throwing those big right hands. She could walk right onto something if she's not careful. That was good, though. Came forward and just let her hands go. She's looking to really get on top of Rusmetova here. She knows that she's got that, as I kind of described it, that sort of mechanical rhythm about her, and that it maybe can be disturbed, made to malfunction. Good left hands there, and that's the standing count. That's the standing count given by the referee, and Daide's made a real good start here. Bit of blood coming from the end of her nose, though, so something's definitely got through there from Rusmetova, who can be a bit of a slow starter from what I saw of her the other day as well, though. stop boxing, says the referee. And this is pretty rough and tumble stuff so far, midway through round one. And again, she just steps into a left hand, right hand, and Rusmetova just trying to quicken her feet and get up onto the inside, get up close herself. Just piles forward. There's quite a lot of blood coming from that nose, actually, for Daide. So the referee, I think, is probably going to have a look at that. Well, she's leaving it for the moment. Rusmetova comes in with the right hand and catches Daide coming forward there. And she's had a really good start, the Kazakh fighter, but she's just beginning to get caught a little bit now. Having scored the standing count and having had the success she'd had in the opening 2 minutes, she could have just stayed away for the final minute of this round, and it still would be her round. Right hand on the inside there from Rusmetova, but she's quite clearly not going to do that, which is making for a very, very good watch. Right hand there for Rusmetova. Daide was, I think, a little bit buzzed by that. There's been some big bombs thrown in this round by both of them. Rusmetova just coming into this more towards the end of the round. There's that 1-2, and there it is again. And Rusmetova just closing in there. When she gets that range, she is very dangerous. And the referee hadn't said anything there. Rusmetova, I think, felt she was going to come in and say break, stop boxing. She didn't. Daide continued, and she was absolutely right to do so. That's a very interesting opening round there. Daide scoring the standing count. I say scoring it, causing a standing count. It doesn't have any direct reflection on the scoring, as I've been saying throughout the course of the last week. Daide gets it 10-9. Rusmetova with Sergei Krutasov at the bottom there. She did have some significant success in the final minute of that round. I wouldn't have said quite enough to have turned the first 2 minutes around, but not far off, so I can see where he's coming from there. I think this is set up very interestingly, though, because she put a lot into that opening round there, Daide, and Rusmetova is the kind of fighter she will just keep rumbling forward. She took a few in that opening round, but she'll just keep coming forward. She'll keep throwing that 1-2, and will Daide have enough in the tank
Round 2.
to be able to hang in there, or better than that? Good start to the round there from Daide. Climbed into a couple of big shots there, left and right hand. But Rusmetova can take a punch. Looking for that right hand there, Rusmetova. That wasn't far away. That wasn't far away at all. Steps in. Daide gets in close. Close is safe for Daide against Rusmetova. When she's right tight up there, there's nothing that the Uzbek can do. Left hand from Rusmetova, but a right hand came back from Daide. Minute into round 2. Bit messy so far this round. Right to the body there from Daide, and then finds her head with the left hand. It's the midway point of the round. Just signs here, though, for me that Daide's beginning to look a little bit weary here. As Rusmetova, I think, senses it too and is trying to step onto her. Daide is happy to hold on, and she's almost falling into Rusmetova here. He just needs to disentangle herself. And the referee can maybe have a little word here, because I think there's a reasonable amount of holding going on there from Daide, who looks absolutely out on her feet. There is just over a minute remaining in round 2. Rusmetova just needs to stay away. She just needs to keep the distance here and just pick her punches, because Daide looks done. She looks completely done with a minute remaining in the round. Doesn't need to let her opponent fall into and grab hold of her. Just jab, keep that distance between the two. Daide throws the right hand and gets onto the inside, though. She's not far off a warning, I don't think. The Kazakh, she's just doing what she can to not kill the clock exactly, but The more time she can spend getting a breather, the better. But that was a great right hand. She just launched in with the right hand, and Rizmetova did not move and took it flush. She might be doing enough here, Dide, I think, just to nick this round. She's looked there for the taking for the last minute, but Rizmetova just hasn't been able to do much about it, but she can there. Lovely 1-2. Lovely 1-2, and that is a... Well, that's a clean knockdown. That is a clean knockdown all day long. Jab right hand. Big right hand, big left there from Rizmetova right at the end of the round, and the bell is gone, and she just got to her at the end of the round there, Rizmetova, and that might prove to be really important, because she needs this round. And she doesn't get it. She gets it with Sergei Krudasov, but Dide has managed to win it with the other 4 judges, and I can see that. I thought Dide somehow in that final minute managed to stay away, managed not to get caught right until the very, very end when she was put down, and it was a nice left-right by Rizmetova. Saw her go down. And okay, she kind of goes down in installments and then grabs hold of her opponent, but it was the 1-2 that put her down. There's no question about that. So a 2-point gap there for Dide, but this is not over. Usually I would say that this is an almost impossible task, but this is not over, because Rizmetova has got serious punching power. Dide is maybe beginning to gas a bit here. So a stoppage here for Rizmetova, although unlikely, it is doable. 1-2 there for Dide. Rizmetova's got to work. She's got to put it on it. She's got to punch, 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 and punch some more for this remaining 2.5 minutes. She cannot allow this to happen. Dide to fall into a grab hold of her and just maneuver her around, because the referee's not that keen to get in and break them. Although I think she might be about to, well, she's going to send her over to the corner to the doctor. Bit of blood coming out the end of the nose. Another thing Dide does need to be careful about, I think, is a potential point deduction, because she'll throw a punch, move onto the shoulder, lean in, and just stay there. She's got no intention, really, of disentangling herself anytime soon, which I completely understand. Rizmetova just can't quite get the space that she needs. When Dide comes in on her like that, she's just got to back up a bit. She needs the room to work in to fire in that 1-2. That's what she needs. And she's taking a point. She's taking a point, and I flagged that up a while ago. And when you're fighting, when you're running on empty a bit like Dide is, then a point deduction is always a real possibility. So if Rizmetova is to win this round, and there's a point deduction as well, then on those 4 cards, it would be level, and it would go to the opinion of the judges. Just past the midway point of round 3. And Rizmetova's got to just step in and let her hands go here. Dide will look towards the corner. She's got a lot of heart, the Kazakh, a lot of heart. But Rizmetova cannot allow her just to punch first like she did there. Throw the right hand, move in onto the shoulder, grab hold of her, and kill the clock. When she sees her coming towards her, just got to take a step. Just take a step back. And give herself room. Dide again there, leads off with the right hand and lands it. I'm not quite sure how she's doing this at times. Rizmetova. Lovely right hand there from Rizmetova. For once there, she just got the distance right, and she really can crack. You can see that. She can punch. Dide just backing off there, and then just ditches in another fairly desperate right hand, and it does the job for her, because he's able just to tie Rizmetova up and push her back into the ropes. And Rizmetova is 2 points up on one card. Daide is 2 points up on the other 4 cards. There's been a point deduction. So we'll have to see which way the scoring goes. We could be going down to judges' opinions here. That could well be the case. It's not a completely clear call as to actually who was actually won that round, regardless of the deduction. That comes off afterwards. The judges score according to the 10-point must, regardless of it. Because he did throw some good punches there, Daide, stepping in those lead right hands, bouncing those lead right hands off the forehead of Rizmetova. It's a good fight, really interesting fight. Loads of things at play.
Ladies and gentlemen, in first semi-finals in the women's middleweight division, in the ring B, the bout 351. Win by points with split decision. From the blue corner, Dana Dadia, Kazakhstan.
And she gets it. She gets it, Dana Daide, and that is a terrific effort. That is a big effort. Let's have a look at the scores. So it's 3 in her favour, 1 for Rizmetova, and 1 drawn. So those 3 judges found in her favour in that final round, which meant that the point deduction didn't really affect things. We had a 28-28 because of the point deduction for Kim Jong-jin, but it was 30-26 for Sergei Krudasov of Russia in favour of Uzbekistan. So it's Daide who goes through to the final, and she just found a method. She found a way there, because she was gassing from midway through round 2, really, having put a ton into that first round and won that first round. But she found this effective method of just leading off with a big right hand, following it in, and Rizmetova just never kind of caught on that when she did that, she needed to back up and give herself room to throw that 1-2, because when she did find the distance with it, she really can punch. But she just didn't make the adjustments that she needed to make. But I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we start the second semi-finals in the women's middleweight division. That will be the bout 352 in the ring B. And please, to the red corner, from India, Sanamacha Chanu Tokchom.
Well, this is a terrific fight. Sanamacha Tokchom is the Asian youth champion. Daria Parada of Poland is the European youth champion. And credentials don't come much better than that. These two meeting at the semi-final stage. Both national champions numerous times over.
To the blue corner, from Poland, Daria Parada.
And here comes Parada, as I mentioned, European Youth Champion. She was European Junior Champion as well. And she had a good win against Kira Sariello of Italy, 5-0 in the previous round. Tokchom dispatched Margarita Zieva of Russia, European Youth silver medalist by second round RSC. And she was all over Zieva. She could not miss her with that right hand. And the referee in the end had no choice but to stop it.
1, Latvia, 2, Kazakhstan, 3, Taiwan, 4, Azerbaijan, and 5, Israel, and the referee from Ireland, Miss Safi Safi.
So there are 5 judges into the second semi-final in the middleweight division to see who will go on to meet Dana Daide in the final on Thursday.
Round one.
So into the first round here. Thokchom of India in the red, who is an aggressive front foot fighter, will throw plenty of punches. Parada of Poland, who's got a good style about her. Generally stays just kind of on the edge of range, has got a fairly orthodox guard that she employs, but she's been put under some serious pressure here early on. Thokchom just letting everything go. Absolutely everything go, just really jumping on Parada here. Big right hand there, got through the guard. And Parada, that guard's a little bit leaky at the minute. Thokchom. When you look at the two of them in there, actually, she's not that much taller, but she just seems like she is. And again, she's found good range there, Thokchom. Goes to the body. And Parada's just got to try and ride this out. This first minute's been a little bit torrid. The 1-2 again there for Thokchom got through. She kept hitting DZIEA with the right hand yesterday. She throws that right hand well, though. You look at that, she just turns that over. Lovely shot that, really is. Cheeky little left on the inside there from Parada. But a right hand snuck in around the back of the guard from Thokchom. There's been so much leather thrown in this opening minute and a half, and almost all of it by the Indian fighter. Goes down to the body. Parada's not looked hurt at any stage. She's not even really looked that kind of disorganised by anything, or not particularly off balance by anything. Thokchom can't keep this up forever, surely. Parada just beginning to get through a little bit more herself there, left on the inside. She's not going anywhere, just staying right in front of Thokchom there. Thokchom still just pouring those punches in, heading towards the final 30 seconds of the round, and this has been some opening round. Really has. They've been right on top of each other right from the get-go. Thokchom trying to find room for that right hand. Parada, although she's been on the receiving end, has remained absolutely calm. She's kept her composure, she's kept that guard, and she's just beginning to have some success of her own, heading into the closing stages of round one. This is a Thokchom round. I don't think there's too much doubt about that. But this will have taken quite a lot out of her. It can't not have done. She's breathing pretty hard in the corner there. She's got a minute to recover, though. 10 lines across the board, and it couldn't really be anything else. But there won't be any panic in that Polish corner, because Parada, as I say, she began to have her own success towards the end of the round. And that was a huge effort expended by the Indian fighter there. Just having a look at her in the corner away to my right-hand side. And I wonder whether they would have hoped that they would have put a bit more of a dent in Parada in that round than they have, because they've won the round, but I wouldn't say they put a dent in her. I wouldn't say that. Big puff out of air there from Parada. Asian youth champion against European youth champion, and Parada's got to start a little bit quicker. She can't allow Thokchom just to do what she did in the last round, but she's already not doing that. She's trying to keep it more on the outside here, Thokchom. Right hand there for Parada, who's got to walk through these 1-2s to get close. That's the way she'll do it. She'll try and move that head, but for the most part, she's going to have to do this the hard way. Thokchom is trying to keep this at longer range. First round, she just let her hands go. This round, she's trying to keep it on the outside, turning Parada more, moving her more. Parada cannot allow that to happen. She's got to bring the heat here, I think, just a little bit more urgently than she is, possibly. Nice 1-2 thrown by both of them, both landed. Left hand from Thokjam. Parada with right hand just got through there, midway point of the round, and she needs to start to take over in this second half if she's going to win this round. Digging her toes in there, Thokjam, and letting that right hand go. Still just throwing the 1-2s. Thokjam, they're hitting the gloves, but they're keeping Parada off her. That is the key into the final minute of round 2. And you would say that this is a Thokjam round again at the moment. And they're boxing to a good plan here, the Indian team. I'm sure this is a plan to jump all over Parada in the first round and then try and get that in their pocket, put that in their pocket, and then in the second round look to keep it at range more. Good jab from Thokjam. As I said, this a contest pitting the Asian youth champion up against the European youth champion. Final few seconds of round 2. And there goes the bell. Split scoring, but Thokjam still with a significant advantage there, 20 points to 18 with 3 judges, and the other 2 cards are level, so Parada has got to take those 2 level cards, and she's got to turn one of those 2018s around.
Seconds out, please. Third round.
Parada looking to bring the pressure, bring the heat in this third round. She absolutely has to. But Thokjam has got plenty to say about that. Good movement from her. Very good fitness from an Indian fighter too, because the shift she put in that opening 3 minutes, I would have seen a lot of fighters run out of steam, to be honest, but she still boxed at a lively pace in that second round and is looking to do the same thing here. She can afford to lose this round 10-9. Not that that will be in her mind, but she can. Thokjam still out throwing Parada, mainly because she's got that reach advantage. She can just throw those long 1-2s from the outside again and again and again. Parada's got to find a way to get closer before she can really let her hands go. Heading into the final minute. It's been a good fight. Right hand there from Parada. The Fokchom, I think, has boxed brilliantly here, to be honest, because it's a bold strategy just to jump all over somebody in the first round, because you can empty the tank. It might not go your way. But she got the first round win. Getting ahead on the cards in the 3-round contest is big. And then since then, she's used those natural advantages and kept the work rate very high still. It's just it was phenomenal in that opening round. So compared to that, it has dropped off, but it's still been at a very high level. And she's going to go through here. She's going to win this fight and go through and fight Dana Daide of Kazakhstan for a gold medal on Thursday. And Parada, I'm afraid, will have to settle for a bronze. And the Indian corner celebrates, and there's every reason that they should, because they have won that fight. It was a good fight to watch. Parada's problem was that just couldn't get inside that 1-2.
Ladies and gentlemen, win by points with split decision from the red corner, Sanamacha Shanu, Takchom, India.
And the victory there confirmed. She's dropped that final round on a few of the cards, but it was still enough. So into the heavyweight division, Alfiya Pathan of India up against Olivia Toborek. I mentioned the success that the Indian team have had in terms of medals collected in this
Ladies and gentlemen,
women's competition, and Poland.
In the women heavyweight division, bout number 353. Please into the red corner from India, Alfiya Pathan.
So Pathan beat Rekha Hoffman 5-0 in her previous fight. National junior champion, Asian junior gold medalist as well. Both of those two titles coming in 2019. And she'll be looking to convert her bronze into something better. Her teammates have done a good job of that so far today in this ring.
Olivia Toborek.
And in comes Olivia Toborek, national youth champion in 2020. Beat Tatiana Bogdanova of Russia 4-1 in her previous fight.
And the judges scoring of this bout: 1 Croatia, 2 Jordan, 3 Russia, 4 Korea, 5 Israel, and the referee from Turkey, Yasar Sinan.
These are the two most successful nations in women's competition. But India have turned it on today. Seen wins for Chanu, for Poonam, and for Thokchom. They've all made it through to finals. And Pathan will want to add her name to that 100%.
Konsekwencja. Oliwa, pewna siebie. Jedziesz, jedziesz.
Round one.
So into the first, Pathan of India, southpaw in the red. Toborek, Poland, orthodox fighter in the blue. Good left hand there from Pathan. Just trying to sink in that left hook there, and again, Toborek. Very, very quick start to this fight, a lot being thrown. Good left hand off the back foot there from Pathan. Straight right there from Toborek. Just beginning to get on top of Pathan a little bit in the second minute of this round. Pathan at the better of the opening minute, you would say. Just looking to try and sneak a left hand down the middle there, Pathan. Very aggressive, Toborek. You can see it written all over her face, just how much this means to her. Nice jab there from Toborek. Pathan's always looking just to slide to the right-hand side and throw that left hand down the centre. Jabbing away in again there, Toborek. Flicks it up from the waist. Toborek just missing with the right hand, closing stages of round one. She's keeping Pathan turning here, keeping her moving. The Indian had the better of the opening minute, but I think the 2 minutes since then, and she's just holding onto the arm there. The referee can see that. Yes, I've seen her. I could get in a bit quicker there, I think. Good 1-2 there, though, from Pathan. She throws that really, really nicely. Difficult to find it outside of the opening stages, because since then, Toborek's just kept her rotating, basically. What she doesn't want, Toborek, is to give Pathan the opportunity to stand solid and throw that 1-2. She can't stand in front of her. That would be a bad idea. Let's have a look at the scores. And 10-9s across the board there for Toborek, and I would fall in with that, because Pathan, I think, as I was saying, towards the end of that round there, had the best of the first minute, and then I think after that, it was Toborek. She set the high tempo in that opening round. She works well with that left hand and that lead right hand, Pathan. It's really classy the way she throws it.
Second out, please.
Toborek just can't stay in front of her long enough to give her the chance to land it.
Second round.
So into the second. Lead right hand there from Pathan, looking to try and stick that left down the middle as well. Toborek just getting right on top of there, nice and tight and close. Left hand just bounced off the head of Toborek again as she's coming in. Another left there from Pathan. She has to try and maintain that distance, keep that distance, Pathan. Give herself a chance to work. Toborek again with that scowl on her face, just barreling forward. Good right hand there from Toborek. Left to the body there from Pathan. She's doing some effective punching here, the Indian fighter. Good right to the body, that's a nice combination. Just standing off Toborek, and she's doing a good job here, Pathan, of just finding that little bit of distance I was talking about. Punching to the body, then goes up to the head, catching Toborek on her way in. She's trying to wrestle her way onto the inside. Just these little digs as she's coming forward are taking it out of Toborek a bit here. This is good technical boxing from the Indian. Again, they're just leading off with a short, classy, kind of right uppercut, but she had it under control. She didn't leap in with it. Toborek's come forward again in this round and looked aggressive, but she's not landed all that much. And I think these shots from Pathan have just taken a little bit out of her. Left hand there from Toborek. Left followed by right there from Pathan. There's that right hand on the inside again from the Indian, and once more she's walking right onto that now, Toborek. She had that success in the final 2 minutes of round one, and that's just encouraged her to keep going in the same vein, totally understandably, but Pathan has just made some little adjustments. Left hand lands again there. Been a good fight, this. Good fight. Bell goes at the end of the round, and that's a good round. For me, that's a good round from Pathan. Did some very good work close up. Found the gaps. Just little short, sharp punches. Well, she gets it with 3 of the judges there, so Toborek has got a 2-point lead with 2 of the judges there going into round 3. 3 other scores are level. I think Pathan's slightly unfortunate there not to get it with all 5 of them that second round. I thought she quite obviously did the better punching, quite simply. Toborek was coming forward. She was always coming forward, but she was getting caught on the way in all the time.
Third round.
So third and final round. And Pathan has got it to do here because he needs to turn around. Well, she needs to take those level cards. Looking for that right hand up the middle there. Toborek just kind of walking forward, leaning in. She doesn't look like she's got very much left here, unless she's kind of playing possum a little bit in the opening minute of this round. But really all she's doing is just keeping that guard up and walking in. She doesn't seem to have too much about her, too much left. Now just does try to work those hands, but that opening minute there, she barely threw a punch. Now she's looking to try and maybe set her feet and get something done. Maybe that was just a little bit of kidology. Slightly odd tactic if it was. I think maybe she just needed a bit more time to try and recuperate, because this is a tough fight. It's been fought at close range. They've been leaning in, grappling, using that physicality, trying to drain the energy out of each other by doing just what they're doing here. It's been very, very hard midway through the round. Good left hand there from Pathan. Indian corner just asking Pathan to do a little bit more here, and she looks to try and respond. She was up on 2 cards by 2 points. The Polish fighter going into this final round, so she got those in her pocket. She's not going to lose this round 10-8, but the other 3 were level, so she needs one of those. Pathan needs all of them. And there's not very much in this at the minute, there really isn't. Might come down to whoever can finish best. As I said, Toporek didn't really do anything in that opening round, but Pathan didn't get too much done either. Nice crisp 1-2 there from Pathan. This has been so grueling. A real dogfight. Short little left hand there from Pathan. Toporek just slings the left into the body. Final 10 seconds. A chance to fight for a gold medal on the line here. And for Toporek, that would be unbelievable on their home turf. There goes the bell. Well, well, well. What are we going to get when we go to the cards? Really good fight to watch. That's a good bit of work on the inside there from Toporek.
Ladies and gentlemen, win on first semi-final in the women heavyweight division by points with split decision. From the red corner, Afika Pathan.
Pathan gets it by split decision, so 3-2. So she got it with all 3 of those judges who had it level going into the final round. I thought that final round was very close, but that first minute maybe where Toporek just seemed to need that little bit more time to rest, I don't think would have done her any favours. I don't think any of those rounds were that easy to score, to be honest with you. That was a very, very good fight. Very good fight. So the Indian fighter follows her teammates, and they've had a right time of it in Ring B in this afternoon session. The Indian team, that's 4 fighters who have converted guaranteed bronzes into at least silvers. They're having a fantastic women's competition, they really are.
Ladies and gentlemen, we start the second semi-finals in women's heavyweight division. Bout number 354 in the Ring B. Please into the red corner from Moldavia, Daria Kozeres.
So this is the second semi-final in the heavyweight division, our final fight of the session, and we've got Daria Kozeres of Moldova striding to the red corner here. beat Clara Perezo Martinez of Spain by
And please to the blue
RSC
corner,
in the first.
Yeldena Talipova.
And Talipova got a stoppage as well against Victoria Levchuk, so both of these two in destructive form. Kozarez, the 2020 European Youth Champion. Talipova came third in the Kazakh women's elites, so she's got that kind of senior experience. Well, if this is as good as the fight we've just seen between Pathan and Toborek, that would be most welcome. This is the final fight of the session. It's been a good session as well. Seems a very entertaining semi-final. So here we go. Kozarez of Moldova in the red, Talipova of Kazakhstan in the blue, and you can see the obvious physical differences between the two of them. And this is going to be a case of Kozarez having to, again, as we've seen countless times throughout the course of this championship, she's got to get inside that longer reach to closer range where she can land her own punches. Talipova has got to keep her on the end of that jab right hand, that 1-2 if she can. Good right hand there, and a couple of right hands getting through there for Kozarez. Keeps that guard nice and tight there, Kozarez. European youth champion. Just takes the weight back there as Talipova was trying to clip her with the right hand. Good right hand there from Kozarez. He's having a good first round here, Kozarez. Talipova opened up pretty strong, thrown big 1-2s, snappy 1-2s, but Kozarez has seen that all before. Generally speaking, she's going to find her opponents, or often, having that height and reach advantage on her. She's well-versed, well-schooled in closing that gap down. And again, she's just coming forward there. She just kind of plods forward. Final minute of the round, looks for that right hand, just fell slightly short with it that time, but she's the one dictating terms here of these two. Right hand there from Kozarez got through, fell short with the second one, but got those gloves straight back up because she knew that she maybe left herself in a spot of bother. Just dips to her left and throws that right hand. Talipova hasn't really done a lot, to be honest with you, in the final half of this round. In the final 2 minutes of this round, Kozarez just rolled forward on it and put her back into a shell, really. She had a good start, the Kazakh fighter. Kozarez had to work hard in that round. And she gets it 10-9 with all of the judges. Slipova's got to do more. She's got to work harder. She's got to keep throwing that 1-2 like she did in the first 20-odd seconds of the fight. Because what Kozarez is doing, that's not going to change anytime soon. That's a really good right hand. Biting point was absolutely perfect on it. She just dips to the left and throws that loopy little right hand almost in the route it takes in. It's not a hook, not by any stretch. It's not an overhand right quite either, but it's not straight. It's clever the way it just sneaks in. She comes out aggressive at the start of round 2 again. And when she's standing offered there, Tilipova has got to let her hands go. She did eventually, but when the gap is there, at that range, she can step into the 1-2 and she can land. Kozarez cannot land at that point. She's got to move in closer. She's got to close that gap down. Whilst it's there, Tilipova has got to take it. Just there now, she's got to throw there. Does eventually throw the jab, and that's exactly what she needs to do. Kozarez shuffling in, looking to throw that almost front crawl style right hand, if you like. Okay, that didn't reach, but it caused Kozarez to take a backward step, and Tilipova has just got to keep pumping out that 1-2 as her opponent shuffles in. If she can do that, then she can have some success here. That right from Kozarez travels further than you might first think. So she probably doesn't need to be quite as close as Kozarez, or rather Tilipova thinks she does, and it landed there perfectly. Tilipova eventually throws, but by the time she throws, Kozarez is right up on top of her into the final minute of round 2. There's that right hand again. Almost reached that time as well, and Tilipova just allows her to walk into range. She's got to throw her hands there. She's got to start throwing there. Short left hand eventually from Tilipova. I probably sound a bit frustrated with it, which is odd because it doesn't bother me who wins this fight, but when you watch it, it's so obvious what Tilipova needs to do. Digging her feet in there, Tilipova, and looking to try and throw in that left hand followed by the right. Bell goes at the end of the round, and Kozarez, I think, is touching distance away here from a final. Well, split scoring there, in fact. Tilipova gets it with 3 of the judges, so exactly the same scenario we had in the other semi-final, where Kozarez has got the lead, 20 points to 18 with 2 of the judges, just as Toporek did, but the other 3 are 19-19. So if Tilipova can take those 3, then she will go through. I thought the more effective punching in that round myself was from Kozarez, and that was most likely her round, but it was pretty close.
Third round.
Third and final round. Kozarez in the red. She's got a slight advantage. European Youth Champion Yeldana Tilipova of Kazakhstan in the blue. Basically, there are 3 cards that are tied going into this final round. Kozarez needs to win one of those, and she's won the fight. Tilipova needs to win all 3. Nice 1-2 there from Kozarez, and that just puts Tilipova onto the back foot. I think she might have felt that a bit. She's just dabbing at the forehead, maybe just trying to push that head guard up a touch. Good jab there from Kozarez.
Holding blue.
Наша первая начинать, и уже пошла. Давай сама, Дашенька, доработай, нет, голова. Даша, доработай раунд.
She's looking to wind up for the 1-2 there, Tilipova, midway through round 3. Right hand to the body there from Tilipova, just looking for single shots to the mid-head. I think she needs to work a bit harder here, does there. Good right hand, and then again, just set her feet and really launch that one in. Kozarez again, though, just makes her back up. I think when Kozarez catches Tilipova clean, I think she hurts her. Left hand there, jab, followed by the right hand. Tilipova just backing up a little bit. Nice left hand. Just as they came out of the clinch there from Tilipova. Jab there from Tilipova, and again just looks for that left. That's worked for a couple of times in the last 20 seconds or so. Just throwing that and then moving off to the left-hand side. Both of these two need to dig deep now. Good jab there from Kozarez. And again, she just kind of touches the forehead. Good jab from Kozarez once more. And again, for me, she's done the more solid punching of the two in this third and final round. Another lovely 1-2 there, followed by another left hand from Kozarez, and a strong finish from her here. Dips that head, throws that left, and they feel like it's enough in the Moldovan corner, and I would agree, she needs one of those 3 cards that was level going into the final round, whereas Tilipova needs all 3 of them. It was a good fight. 2 good semi-finals there at heavyweight.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the last semi-finals in the women heavyweight division, win by points with split decision from the red corner, Daria
Kozarez gets it.
Moldavia.
3-2. So that will mean that she got one of those 3 cards that was level going into the final round, and Tilipova would have got the other 2. So that was a very, very close thing with the split scoring there. Kozarez gets it with 3 of the judges. She already had 2 of them in her pocket because they were 20-18. Those scores are 30-27, and with the drawn card, she got 1 out of 3, and that was all she needed. So that was very, very close. And a really good way to finish. Really good way to finish the session. She goes through to the final to face Pathan of India. So that concludes the afternoon session in Ring B. We will be back with the evening session in about an hour and a quarter. So please do rejoin us.